Listen carefully. The loudest man in the room is rarely the strongest. He is usually the one begging to be noticed. Watch people the next time you enter a crowded room. Someone is talking over everyone else. Someone is desperate to prove how much money they make. Someone keeps dropping names, chasing approval, fighting for attention as if attention itself were power. They don't realize they're exposing their greatest weakness. Because a person who constantly advertises his value is quietly admitting that he fears nobody will notice it on their own. Then your eyes drift towards someone else. He isn't competing. He isn't trying to dominate the conversation. He isn't laughing louder than everyone else or forcing people to admire him. He's simply observing, calm, patient, completely comfortable with silence. And strangely, people begin noticing him without him asking for it. Why? Because the human mind is drawn towards certainty. Noise creates curiosity for a moment. Stillness creates authority. That is why history remembers rulers, generals, and strategists who mastered themselves before they ever tried to master anyone else. Niccolò Machiavelli understood that influence begins long before words are spoken. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that a man's greatest battle is against his own impulses. Sun Tzu taught that the highest form of strength is not reckless aggression but disciplined control. Different centuries, different cultures, the same lesson. The man who cannot control himself will eventually be controlled by someone else. Modern society teaches the opposite. Speak faster, show more, post everything, explain yourself, react instantly, defend your reputation, fight every battle. But every unnecessary reaction gives another person a glimpse of your emotional controls. The moment they discover what angers you, what flatters you, what frightens you, they begin predicting your behavior. And predictable people are easy to manipulate. The truly dangerous individual refuses to hand over that map. His emotions belong to him alone. His confidence is not borrowed from applause. His identity does not rise with compliments or collapse under criticism. That is the first level of real power. Not domination over other people. Domination over yourself. So before we continue, write this in the comments. My mind obeys me before it obeys the world. Because everything that follows depends on one principle. If your emotions belong to everyone else, your life will too. 1. Build emotional armor. Most people live like open doors. Anyone can walk in. One insult ruins their day. One rejection destroys their confidence. One opinion from a stranger changes how they see themselves. Their emotions are rented out to the world. Strong people refuse that contract. They understand that every emotional reaction is information. When someone discovers exactly how to provoke you, they don't need strength to defeat you. They only need patience. This is why emotional discipline is more frightening than aggression. Anyone can shout. Anyone can lose control. Very few people can remain steady while everyone around them is falling apart. The next time someone tries to provoke you, don't rush to defend yourself. Pause. Let the silence do the work. A calm expression often creates more discomfort than the perfect comeback. People expect resistance. They rarely know what to do with composure. Remember this. The strongest fortress is not built from stone. It is built from a mind that refuses to surrender itself to every passing emotion. And this is only the beginning. The world has conditioned people to believe that visibility is everything. Post more, talk more, answer immediately, always be available, always remind people that you exist. But history tells a different story. The rarest people have never been the easiest to access. Think about it. The mountain does not chase travelers, the ocean does not beg for attention, yet millions cross continents just to stand before them. Value does not announce itself, it attracts. That is why constant availability quietly destroys influence. When people know they can reach you at any second, when they know you'll always say yes, when they know you'll never walk away, they stop respecting your time, and eventually they stop respecting you. Robert Greene has often written about the importance of mystery in human relationships. The less people know about every detail of your life, the more room their imagination has to work. Mystery is not deception, it is discipline. You don't have to explain every decision. You don't have to defend every absence. You don't owe the world constant access to your mind. The strongest presence is often created by controlled absence. Notice how desperate people panic when nobody hears from them. They begin posting more, talking louder, seeking reassurance. They fear being forgotten. A disciplined person understands something different. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is preparation. Every hour spent away from unnecessary noise is another hour spent sharpening yourself. While others compete for attention, you build competence. While others collect approval, you collect discipline. While others chase applause, you chase mastery. And mastery speaks louder than popularity ever will. There is another reason strategic absence is so powerful. It protects your focus. Every unnecessary conversation steals energy. Every pointless argument steals clarity. Every attempt to impress strangers steals time you'll never get back. The world is full of distractions disguised as opportunities. Not every invitation deserves a yes. Not every battle deserves your attention. Not every opinion deserves your response. Strong people understand that every yes costs something. Sometimes the greatest victory is the conflict you refuse to enter. The greatest argument is the one you never needed to win. The greatest display of confidence is walking away without explaining yourself, because confidence is not measured by how loudly you defend your value. It is measured by how peacefully you protect it. Ask yourself this: if you disappeared for 30 days, would you return stronger? Or would you realize your entire life depended on other people's attention? The answer reveals more about your mindset than any motivational speech ever could. Remember this: a sword left exposed eventually becomes dull, but a sword protected, sharpened, and revealed only when necessary becomes feared long before it is drawn. The world does not reward the man who speaks first. It rewards the man who understands first. Most people expose themselves within minutes. They complain, they gossip, they brag, they rush to explain who they are before anyone even asks. Without realizing it, they hand strangers the blueprint to control them. The moment someone knows what feeds your ego, what triggers your anger, what scares you, they no longer need to fight you. They only need to push the right button. That is why emotional discipline is feared, not because it looks impressive, but because it leaves nothing for your enemies to grab. Niccolo Machiavelli understood that the person who cannot govern himself will eventually be governed by someone else. Control over your own mind is the foundation of every other form of power. Weak people react. Strong people observe. Predators never reveal themselves through panic. They watch, they calculate, then they move only when the moment is right. The same principle applies to your life. Every unnecessary word is a leak. Every emotional outburst is information. Every desperate explanation lowers your value. Stop trying to convince people who you are. If your character requires constant advertising, it probably isn't strong enough yet. Silence unsettles people. Why? Because silence forces them to think. And when people cannot predict you, they begin to respect you. The most dangerous person in any room is rarely the loudest. It is the one nobody can read, the one who listens longer than he speaks, the one who refuses to be dragged into pointless arguments, the one who stays calm while everyone else is losing control. That kind of composure creates pressure. People start questioning themselves. They wonder what you're thinking. They wonder what you've noticed. They wonder why nothing seems to shake you. That uncertainty is powerful, not because you're trying to intimidate anyone, but because self-control is so rare that it immediately stands out. Robert Greene has written that people often reveal themselves if you simply give them enough space to talk. Let them. Don't interrupt. Don't rush to prove your intelligence. The more they speak, the more they expose their priorities, fears, insecurities, and intentions. Information is earned by listening. Influence is earned by restraint. So from this day forward, make one decision. Speak with purpose. React with discipline. Protect your peace like it is your greatest possession. Because once people realize they cannot control your emotions, they lose their greatest weapon against you. And that is where real confidence begins. Power has a sound. Most people think it's the loudest voice. They're wrong. Real power is almost silent. Walk into any room and you'll see it. One man is trying to dominate every conversation. He laughs the loudest, interrupts the most, desperately tries to become the center of attention. He mistakes attention for influence. The two are not the same. Attention is borrowed. Influence is earned. The truly dangerous man doesn't need permission to be respected. His posture speaks before his mouth does. His eyes remain steady. His movements are controlled. Nothing about him asks for approval. Everything about him communicates certainty. Most people betray themselves before they ever speak. Restless hands, constant fidgeting, eyes searching for validation, a nervous smile that appears every few seconds. Without realizing it, their body announces the fear they are trying to hide. The body never lies. It reveals what the mouth desperately tries to cover. This is why mastering yourself begins with mastering your presence. Stand with intention, walk without rushing. When you speak, slow down. Silence between sentences is not weakness, it is confidence. Weak people rush because they fear losing attention. Strong people know attention follows certainty. Miyamoto Musashi spent a lifetime mastering discipline before mastering opponents. The lesson extends beyond combat. A disciplined body creates a disciplined mind. When your movements are deliberate, your decisions become deliberate. When your breathing stays calm, your thinking becomes clear. Chaos outside no longer creates chaos inside. Never underestimate eye contact. Not the kind meant to intimidate, the kind that says, "I have nothing to prove." There is a difference. Arrogance demands recognition. Confidence doesn't care whether recognition comes or not, and people can feel that difference immediately. Most men spend years building an image. Few spend years building character, but image disappears the moment pressure arrives. Character survives it. Pressure is the great judge of every man. Anyone can appear confident when life is easy. Anyone can smile when they are winning. But when criticism arrives, when failure appears, when betrayal cuts deep, that is when your true identity is revealed. Can you remain steady? Can you think instead of panic? Can you respond instead of explode? Because in that moment, people stop listening to your words. They start measuring your strength. And strength has never been about muscles. It has always been about composure. Remember this. The lion does not remind the forest that he is a lion. His presence is enough. Become the kind of person whose discipline speaks before your voice ever has the chance. Look around. Most people are fighting wars they created inside their own minds. They wake up chasing approval. They spend the day comparing themselves to strangers. They measure their worth by likes, compliments, attention, and applause. Then they wonder why they feel empty. Because a man who depends on the world for confidence has already surrendered control of his life. Every compliment owns him. Every insult controls him. Every rejection defines him. That isn't confidence. It's invisible slavery. The most dangerous people in history were not dangerous because they shouted louder. They were dangerous because they remained clear when everyone else lost control. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself as a reminder that you always have power over your own mind, even when you cannot control events outside it. That single idea separates leaders from followers. Followers wait for perfect conditions. Leaders create discipline regardless of conditions. While others complain, they train. While others blame, they improve. While others seek shortcuts, they build themselves one decision at a time. This is the truth most people will never accept. Confidence is not a feeling, it is evidence. Evidence that you kept your promises to yourself. Evidence that you stayed disciplined when nobody was watching. Evidence that you refused to quit when quitting was easier. That is why discipline always outlives motivation. Motivation disappears when life becomes difficult. Discipline stays. Every difficult morning, every lonely evening, every setback, every failure, every betrayal. They are not punishments, they are tests. And every test asks the same question. Will you break, or will you become harder to break? Friedrich Nietzsche famously wrote that what does not destroy us can make us stronger. Strength, however, is not automatic. It is earned through the choices you make after hardship arrives. So stop asking life to become easier. Become the kind of person that difficulty cannot intimidate. Stop chasing respect. Become respectable. Stop demanding loyalty. Become trustworthy. Stop trying to look powerful. Build the habits that make power inevitable. Because the greatest victory is not defeating another person. It is defeating the weaker version of yourself. The version that needed approval. The version that feared rejection. The version that reacted to everything. Leave that version behind. From this moment forward, walk with discipline. Speak with intention. Control your emotions before they control you. Protect your peace like it is your greatest weapon. And remember this: the world will always be full of people trying to be noticed. Very few will become impossible to ignore. Be one of them. If this message challenged the way you think, write this in the comments. My greatest victory is over myself. Because the strongest mind is not the one that conquers the crowd. It is the one that conquers itself. And once you master yourself, no one else can.